As COVID-19 continues to disrupt the supply chain, equipment manufacturers say the pandemic is actually wiping out demand as they call on Congress now to prioritize infrastructure investment to help support the industry. AEM Senior Vice President of Government and Industry Affairs, Kip Eideberg, joins us now with the latest. Thank you for joining us, Kip. Now, you recently conducted a survey on the demand destruction. What did you find?
Well, thanks for having me on. Well, one finding clearly stands out from this survey. That is that 9 out of 10 respondents, and we surveyed executives from within our industry, presidents, CEOs, and owners. So 9 out of 10 respondents cited a sharp decline in demand for equipment as the primary impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on their business.
Okay, you really have to look at what was happening before the pandemic hit. Talk about how the industry was shaping up before the pandemic, and were there any existing challenges?
I think there were several existing challenges. Obviously, the protracted trade war with China has had an impact on our industry. The sharp decline in commodity prices, has obviously, as your viewers know well, have impacted farmers and farm income being a key driver for equipment. That obviously put an impact on our industry. And then the lack of a significant investment in our nation's infrastructure by Congress obviously has hit the construction equipment manufacturers hard. So, I think the year was despite these challenges, was shaping up to be a pretty good one for our industry overall. But obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has taken that situation and turned it into a pretty grim one for our member companies.
It's so tough to see because we know a lot of these farmers were right on the cusp of making those big capital investments once again. The economy was looking up, and then COVID-19 hit. Talk about moving forward and what you took away from the survey. Where do you go from here?
Well, as I said, right now the challenge is one thing and one thing only, and that is demand, demand, and demand. And unless we can create more demand for equipment, I think the next challenge we'll see will be how our member companies can maintain liquidity. And at that point, unfortunately, I think we will start seeing some equipment manufacturers shutting down production, maybe even furloughing or laying off employees to ensure that they survive. And I don't think that you can overstate the long-term impact that this will have on our industry. Those equipment manufacturers that make it through the crisis face crippled supply chains, depleted cash reserves, lost export markets. So, as the survey tells us, the next 30 days and the remainder of the year, it's going to be a challenge for our industry. And what we really need now more than ever is we need the federal government to step in to provide cash to those equipment manufacturers that need it so that they keep the lights on and keep employees on the job. And then we need some help when it comes to demand, and whether that is making sure that China lives up to their end of the bargain and start buying U.S. commodities, whether it's shoring up ethanol and making sure that ethanol plants stay operational, and that large, significant investment in infrastructure, as I mentioned, all of that will significantly help with demand and hopefully then put off some of these other challenges that will otherwise be we'll be looking at down the road.
Maybe subsidies are something that you consider as well for farmers who do go out and buy equipment. There's a lot here to discuss. I wish we had more time. Association of Equipment Manufacturers, Senior Vice President of Government and Industry Affairs, Kip Eideberg, thank you so much for joining us.